All right, so this is going to be our homework help for Tuesday night. Okay, Tuesday night's homework help. This is Tuesday. And I'm going to be doing the solving equations. I'm going to be doing the solving equations, and we're doing the odd problems. Okay, we're doing only the odd. Okay. And don't forget about the set B that you have to do. But I'm just going to go through the solving equations, doing the odd ones. All right, so that's this worksheet right here that I told you doing a separate piece, and we're going to turn this in, okay? So we got 0 is greater than 3x minus 3 minus 6, okay? So first thing that we want to do is combine like terms here. So we're going to combine these two terms together. That's going to give us a negative 9. So we got 0 greater than, 3x minus 9. Type this in your calculator if you forgot. That's equal to a negative 9. To get x by itself, you got to get rid of these two numbers, the 3 and the negative 9. Get rid of all numbers that you can add or subtract to eliminate. When you isolate a variable, use the inverse operations. Here is multiplication. Here is subtraction. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So you're going to add to get rid of the negative or minus 9. When you add 9 on both sides, this gives you 9 on this side. Bring down the greater than inequality, and this gives you 3x. The opposite or the inverse of multiplying, because 3 is being multiplied to x, is to divide. So you're going to divide by 3 to get rid of this 3. 3 divided by 3 on this side is 1, so that's just 1x. Bring down the inequality. 9 divided by 3 is going to give you 3.
Wait, are you still in the building?
The other way to write this is to put x here and 3 here. Notice how the mouth is open to the 3. So here, the mouth needs to be open to the 3. And this is saying 3 is greater than x. This is also saying the same thing, but if 3 is greater than x, then that means x has to be less than 3. So when you graph this, 3 goes here. A circle, open circles here because there's no equal to sign. And you're going to shade all the values that are less than 3. The values that are less than 3 are on this side of the number line. So shade to the left. Because all of these numbers are less than 3. Okay? Number 3. Because remember, we're doing the odd ones. That's this one. We're doing all of the odds. So that's going to be this one. Okay? All right. So number 3, negative 1 is less than or equal to 2n plus 4 minus 5. All right. So here, what we're going to do is we are going to combine like terms again. So we're combining these two together because there's no distributive property. We combine like terms next. So we combine these, and that's going to give us a negative 1. This is negative 1 less than or equal to 2n minus 1. Okay? So now what do we do? So next thing that we need to do is get rid of this minus or negative 1 by adding 1 to both sides. Okay? You got to get n by itself. Always think, I got to get the variable by itself. Get rid of all numbers you can add or subtract to move first. So this is going to give me 0. Bring down my less than or equal to, okay, less than or equal to, and bring down the 2n. Okay? This is 0. This is multiplication. Remember, in order to get rid of that 2 that's being multiplied to n, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. 0 divided by 2 is going to give you 0. Okay? So here you write it as 0 is less than or equal to n, or you write it as n has to be greater than or equal to 0. So when you draw your number line, 0 is in the center. You're going to have a couple numbers on this side of 0, a couple numbers on the opposite side. Equal to, shade in the circle because it's part of the solution. The answer could be 0. and then the values are greater than 0. So we're going to shade to the right because all of these numbers are greater than 0. Okay. Number 5, right? We have 0 greater than equal to, less than equal to 2n plus 3n. All right, so here you're going to combine these two terms because they are alike. You don't have distributive property, combine like terms. This gives you 5n, okay? Now, in order to get rid of the 5, so the n is by itself, this is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. 0 divided by 5 gives you 0. Bring down the inequality, okay? 5 divided by 5 is 1n. 5 divided by 5 is 1n, so you're just left with n here. So you can either write it like this, or you can write it as this. The mouth is open to n. See that? They mean the exact same thing. 0 less than or equal to n is the same as saying n must be greater than or equal to 0. When you draw your number line, place 0 in the center, a couple numbers on this side, a couple numbers on that side. Your circle goes above the 0, shade it in because it's equal to. Shade in because it's equal to. Values that are greater than 0 are this way. This is greater than. All of these numbers would make this sentence true. 1 is greater than 0. 2 is greater than 0. Greater than or equal to 0. Okay? Even 0 is going to work. That's why you shade in 0. Number 7. Number 7. You have 7. This is a less than sign. That's negative, parentheses, negative k, minus 3, plus 2. All right, so let's do this one. In order to do this here, you're going to do distributive property first. So you're going to distribute the negative. Bring this down. This is 7 is less than. A negative times a negative is going to be a positive k. A negative times a negative is going to be a positive 3 here. So all you did was distribute or multiply the negative times both numbers in the parentheses. Bring down the plus 2. Now you need to combine like terms. So I can combine these two terms. They're like terms. Nothing to combine over here, but I can combine this. This is going to give me 5. So this is 7 less than k plus 5. To get k by itself, you got to get rid of a positive or plus 5. The inverse of adding 5 is to subtract 5 from both sides. 7 minus 5 gives you 2. Bring down the less than sign. K is left. All right, so you have 2 is less than k, which is the same as saying k has to be greater than 2. So when you shade this, when you graph it, 2 is here with a circle above it. Put a couple numbers on this side, a couple numbers on this side. There's no equal to, so leave this open. The values for k have to be greater than 2. So greater than is shading this way. Okay? Number 9. We have negative 5, parentheses, 1 minus 4a, close parentheses. This is greater than a negative 5. Okay? Greater than negative 5. First thing is distributive property here. So you're going to distribute negative 5 to both numbers in the parentheses. Negative 5 times a negative 1 gives you negative 5. Negative 5 times a negative 4a. First of all, a negative times a negative is a positive. Then multiply the numbers. That gives you 20a. Bring down the greater than sign. Bring down the minus 5. Now you need to get a by itself by getting rid of these two numbers. Get rid of anything you can add or subtract to remove. This is a minus 5. The inverse of subtracting 5 is to add 5. So that's how we can move 5. When we add 5 to both sides, this is 0 and we're left with 20a. greater than this side is 0. Okay, we had a problem that looked like this a few minutes ago. To get rid of the 20 that's being multiplied to A, the opposite of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide both sides by 20. 20 divided by 20 gives you 1, so you're left with 1A. Bring down the inequality. 0 divided by 20 is 0. This is your answer here. A is greater than 0. So to graph that, put 0 in the center, put a couple numbers on this side, a couple numbers on this side, put an open circle. Do not shade the circle because it's not equal to. It's greater than. All values that are greater than 0 are this way. So all of these could possibly be answers. 1 is greater than 0. 2 is greater than 0. 3 is greater than 0. 4 is greater than 0. All the way to the positive infinity. Okay? 11. Okay, 11. With number 11, you have A minus 15 is greater than negative 4, parentheses, negative 6 plus 3A. All right, so we're going to do distributive property first. Here we're going to multiply negative 4 times both numbers in the parentheses. So bring this down. This is A minus 15 greater than, now let's multiply. A negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 6 is 24. A negative times a positive is a negative. 4 times 3A is 12A. Okay. Now we're going to move the variables to the same side. To move the variables to the same side, I'm going to move 12A over here. This is a minus 12A, so the opposite of subtracting is to add it. Move the variables first, okay? This is a 1 in front of that A. So that's 1A plus 12A is 13A. Bring down the minus 15. Bring down the greater than sign. This is gone because I moved it over here. So I'm left with 24. Okay? So now, in order to get rid of the 15, I'm going to add 15 to both sides. When I add 15 to both sides, this is gone and I'm left with 13A. Bring down the inequality. When I add, this gives me 9 here, this gives me 3. Okay, it's 39. Now in order to get A by itself, I got to get rid of the 13. 13 is being multiplied to A. The operation that's between 13 and A is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 13. When I divide this side by 13, I get A. When I divide this by 13, I get 3. Okay? So A is greater than 3. So how do I graph that? I put 3 in the center with the circle above it on the number line. You got some numbers on this side, you got numbers on this side. This is greater than. Leave this circle open because there's no equal to. Only shade it when it's equal to. Values greater than A are to the right. All of these numbers would make that sentence true. 4 is greater than 3. 5 is greater than 3. 6 is greater than 3. 7 is greater than 3. All the way to the positive infinity. Number 13. Okay, number 13. We have 26 plus M greater than or equal to 5 parentheses negative 6 plus 3M. Okay, here we go. So now you're going to do distributive property first. You're going to do distributive property first. All right. When you do distributive property here, bring this down. This is going to be 5 times negative 6, which is negative 30. This is 5 times a positive 3M, which is a positive 15M. Now we're going to move the variables to the same side. So to move the variables to the same side, I'm going to move this one by subtracting 1m from both sides. When I subtract 1m from 1m, that's going to give me 0, and I'm left with 26. Bring down the greater than equal to. Bring down the negative 30. Here, when I subtract, this gives me a positive 14m. Now, what do I do? I'm going to get m by itself by getting rid of these two numbers. Get rid of anything you add or subtract to move first. To move this minus 30, I'm going to add 30 to both sides. Okay? When I add 30 to this side, here I'm going to get 6. This I'm going to get 5. Okay? This is gone, and I'm left with 14m. Okay? Now, in order to get m by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 14. When I divide both sides by 14, here, don't forget, if you don't remember that, pull out your calc. You can say 56 divided by 14, look, 4. Okay? So we have 4 here. Bring down the greater than or equal to, and this is going to give you m. Okay? Any questions about it? Please text me if you have questions, okay? Number 15. Number 15. Okay? See if you can try 15 on your own. Write it down for you. Pause the video, see if you can do it on your own. X plus 1 plus 1 plus 6x. This is greater than 6. Oh, sorry. It's supposed to be 3 right there, y'all. 3 parentheses x minus 4 minus, then we got x minus 4. Okay? All right, so look, combine like terms first. Okay, combine like terms first. So, and distributive property. All right, let's do distributive property here. On this side, we can combine terms. We can combine these two together, and we can combine these two together. So 1 plus 6 is 7, 7x. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so we got that side. Let's do distributive property here and here. We got two distributive properties. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Let's do this distributive property. Negative times this positive is a negative x. A negative times this negative is a positive, which is going to be 4. Okay? Now we are going to combine like terms over here. Before we start moving stuff, we got to combine. We can combine these two together. 3x minus 1x, which is 2x. Then negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. Bring everything else down. Okay? Now we're going to move the variables to the same side. Miss Reyes, where are you getting all these rules from? Our interactive notebook. Okay? We wrote steps. Please follow the steps, okay? Until you get the hang of what you're doing. Move the variables to the same side. So I'm going to move either 2x over here or 7x over here. Let's move the 2x. So we're going to subtract 2x to move it. Okay? This gives me 5x plus 2 on this side. Bring down the greater than sign. This is 0, and I'm left with negative 8. Now I'm going to move the 2 over here by subtracting 2. When I subtract 2 on both sides, this gives me 5x on this side because this is gone. Bring down the greater than sign. This gives me negative 10. If you forget, type it in your calculator. To get x by itself, the operation between a number and a variable or a coefficient and a variable is multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 gives you 1, so you're left with 1x. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So this is our answer. your values for x are greater than -2. So find -2 on the number line, put a circle above it, put a couple points on this side, and a couple on that side, okay? Do not shade it in because it's not equal to. Values that are greater than -2 are to the right. Okay? Hope you got that one right. Number 17. All right, number 17. Okay, number 17 and number 19. Number 17, 19, and 21, I'm going to let you do on your own. I want to see what you come up with. Do not forget, I'm going to write this down real quickly. Okay. All right, so look, this is what here, you're going to do distributive property. You're doing distributive property twice. Do you see that? Okay. After you do distributive property, combine like terms and move your variables to the same side. See if you can do this on your own. Pause the video and see if you can do it on your own. All right, so here this gives you 2. Here this gives you a -8r. Here this gives you, bring this down, a -2r. And here that gives you a -6. Bring down the -4. I hope you got that right. Now, like I told you a few minutes ago, to combine like terms. Can't combine these, so don't. Bring this less than sign down. You can combine these terms together. This gives you a -10. So we got, and if you forgot, type this in the calculator, please. Don't get that wrong. Study your rules for integers. Okay. All right, so now in order to get r by itself, you got to move these two numbers. Get rid of anything you can add or subtract to remove first. So we're going to add 10 to both sides. We're going to add 10 to 2, which gives you 12 here. Bring down the -8r and the less than sign. This is a -2r. Okay? I'm going to move the -8r to this side by adding 8r. Oh, I should have moved the variables first. That's okay, y'all. It's all right. Every now and again, everybody makes mistakes. We're going to keep going because we still should get the right answer, even if you didn't move the variables first. If you do the math right, your answer should be good. All right, so this is done. We have 12 over here. And on this side, we have a +6r. We're going to divide both sides by 6. This gives me 2. So this is 2, which is, this is the less than sign, r. Another way to write this is r, 2 over here. The mouth is open to the r. So this is, again, greater than. A lot of examples are greater than. I don't like that. Some of them should have been less than, All right, so here, greater than is going to shade. I'm going to shade this way. Okay. All right, number 19. You have -2 parentheses 1 minus 5x greater than a negative parentheses x plus 1 minus. So you're going to do distributive property first here. See what you get. Okay. The last one, number 21, you are going to make up a problem where with x on both sides, and the answer should be x is greater than or equal to 2. So you're making up your own inequality there. All right, and that is the inequalities. That's the inequalities homework. Do not forget, let me pause real quickly so I can show you what not to forget. Do not forget that I also need you to finish this set 4B. Remember set 4B. We labeled as Tuesdays right here. This is what you're working on. Okay, this is what you're working on. So don't forget to do these problems. Excuse me. Don't forget to do these. All right. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't forget this one right here is the same as what we did here. You have 8 to the negative 2. That's the same as saying 1 over 8 to now the positive 2. Just move this down to the bottom. And now it changes this negative to a positive. Don't forget standard form here, because these were some popular questions to write in standard form. This is number 5. 2.91 times 10 to the 5th. This is a positive exponent. So that means this number is going to get larger. So in order for this number right here to get larger, you've got to move the decimal to the right. How many times are you going to move the decimal to the right? Whatever this exponent says. This exponent is 5. So you're going to take the number and you're going to move the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Fill these as placeholders, put zeros in. So your answer is going to be 291 and 3 zeros. Okay? So that's 291,000. That's your answer for that one. Okay? Look at this. Also, another one that you guys had questions on is write this number in scientific notation. Okay, that's number 6. To write in scientific notation, 6,590, the first thing you do is locate the decimal. If you can't find the decimals behind the last number. Now you're going to move this decimal behind the first digit that you read when you read the number. The first digit that you read, or significant digit, is 6. Just don't put the decimal behind a 0. Okay? So now we're going to move it 1, 2, 3 places so this behind the first significant digit. So you rewrite this number as 6.590 times 10. And since this original number was greater than 1, it's going to be a positive exponent. How many times did I move the decimal? 3 times. So it's positive 3. This is your number in scientific notation. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 8. For number 8, don't forget now, 6.1 times 10 to the 4th power. And you got 3.2 times 10 to the 5th power. Multiply these numbers together first, then multiply these together. So it's 6.1 times 3.2, and then it's 10 to the 4th times 10 to the 5th. And that's going to give you your answer. You put it back together. So here, this is 2, this is 12. This is 3, this is 18. 2, 6, 5, 9, and 1. So how many decimal spaces is 2 decimal spaces? So this is 19.52. Okay? Now this one, look, add these exponents together. 10 is being multiplied 4 times here and 5 times here. So 10 is being multiplied a total of 9 times. So it's 10 to the 9th power. So this is times 10 to the 9th power. Okay? The only thing is, it's not written in scientific notation because this decimal needs to be moved over one more time. So if I move it one more time, I'm going to add 1 right here because I moved it one time. So this is going to be 19.52 times 10 to the 10th power. Writing in scientific notation does take a little bit of time. So that's how you do that. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything, please feel free to text me and let me know. All right, y'all. Make sure that you finish the rest of your homework and have a wonderful evening. Bye.